Cokato, Minnesota. Quiet, steady, and safe. Tucked away in the heart of the Midwest, it's the kind of place where everyone knows your name, and the rhythm of life rarely changes. The streets are lined with modest homes, and the air is crisp with the promise of another ordinary day. Or so it seemed. Beneath the calm exterior, the town was quietly waking up, unaware that this day would be anything but ordinary. On a frosty November morning, the town's routine unfolded as usual. Lights flickered on in kitchens, coffee brewed, and the first cars rumbled down icy streets. Workers bundled in heavy coats made their way to advanced process technologies, the heartbeat of Cokato's economy, ready to start another shift. The plant buzzed with the familiar hum of machinery, a place where people built their lives shift by shift. For many, it was more than just a job. It was a community, a source of pride, and a symbol of stability in uncertain times. But beneath the surface, something dark was brewing. Unseen, unimaginable. No one could have predicted the events that would soon unfold, or the way they would ripple through every corner of this close-knit town. That day, the town's peace would be shattered by a headline no one expected. Workplace homicide in Cokato. The news would travel fast, spreading shock and disbelief through the community. The tragedy would force the community to confront a terrifying question. How could this happen here among their own? Neighbors who once greeted each other with a wave now looked for answers, struggling to make sense of the unthinkable. Before the sirens and the grief, there was only the quiet hum of the factory floor, the silence before the storm. In that silence, the town's innocence lingered for just a moment longer, unaware of how everything was about to change. Amber Check, just 20 years old, was a welder with a rare and infectious passion for her craft. She was the kind of person who could light up a room with her enthusiasm, and her love for welding was evident in every project she took on. Amber's hands were steady, her focus unwavering, and her creativity shone through in the smallest details of her work. She'd found her calling early, excelling both in the workshop and on the basketball court. Whether she was welding metal or sinking three-pointers, Amber's drive and determination set her apart. Her teammates admired her leadership, and her coaches often spoke of her relentless work ethic and positive attitude. Her energy and skill made her a standout at advanced process technologies, where she took pride in every weld. She was known for her attention to detail and her willingness to help others learn the trade. Amber's supervisors trusted her with complex projects, and her co-workers respected her for her dedication and kindness. Friends and family described her as determined, joyful, and full of promise. She was the glue that held her circle together, always ready with a joke or a word of encouragement. Amber's laughter was contagious, and her optimism inspired those around her to dream bigger. Amber's life was on a clear path, building a future she loved, surrounded by a supportive community. She was deeply involved in her hometown, volunteering at local events, and always lending a hand to neighbors in need. Her dreams were big, but her heart was even bigger. She was more than an employee. She was a daughter, a friend, and a bright spark in the factory. Her presence lifted spirits, and her kindness left a mark on everyone she met. Amber's story was one of hope, ambition, and the power of community. On that November morning, she walked into work ready to create, unaware of the darkness lurking nearby. The day began like any other, filled with promise and routine, as Amber greeted her co-workers and prepared for another shift doing what she loved. The factory was her domain, a place of purpose, not fear. It was where she felt most alive, surrounded by the hum of machines and the camaraderie of her team. For Amber, the workshop was a second home, a place where her dreams took shape in steel and sparks. No one could have imagined her story would end there, so suddenly and so brutally. The loss of Amber Check left a void in her community, a reminder of how quickly a bright future can be stolen away. Every tragedy has a shadow. In this story, it was David DeLong. At 40, DeLong was a familiar face at the plant, quiet, unremarkable, blending in. But beneath the surface, resentment festered. While Amber thrived, DeLong harbored a silent animosity. He later told investigators chillingly, "I didn't like the victim." There was no argument, no warning, just a cold, calculated plan. DeLong's hatred was one-sided, invisible to those around him. The most terrifying part? He was just another co-worker. Until he wasn't. Just after 6 a.m., the factory's routine was shattered. Surveillance cameras captured DeLong moving deliberately toward Amber's workstation. He picked up a sledgehammer, a tool of creation turned weapon. Without warning, he attacked Amber, striking her multiple times. The violence was sudden, brutal, and left the factory floor in chaos. Co-workers, moments before lost in routine, were now witnesses to horror. The sanctuary of work was violated in seconds. Amber suffered catastrophic injuries. The damage was irreversible. The unthinkable had happened, a life full of promise extinguished in an instant. The factory's hum was replaced by sirens and disbelief. The first 911 calls broke the morning calm. An assault, a woman gravely injured. Sirens wailed through Cokato as first responders rushed to the scene. Inside, they found Amber, critically wounded, and fought desperately to save her, but the trauma was too severe. Amber was pronounced dead at the scene. The factory became a crime scene, the air thick with shock. DeLong didn't flee, he surrendered quietly, offering no resistance. Detectives began piecing together the evidence, with surveillance footage providing a clear account. The sledgehammer was recovered and the investigation moved swiftly. In custody, DeLong confessed without hesitation. He admitted to killing Amber, not out of rage, but because he simply didn't like her. There was no argument, no trigger, just a chilling, premeditated plan. DeLong had walked the same floors as Amber, hiding his deadly intent behind routine. His confession revealed a cold detachment, making the crime even more disturbing. With overwhelming evidence and his own words, DeLong was charged with second-degree murder. Authorities considered upgrading the charge to first degree, given his admission of planning. The legal process began, but no sentence could restore what was lost. The community was left to grapple with the senselessness of it all. News of the murder spread through Cokato like a shockwave. Amber wasn't just a headline, she was a neighbor, a friend, a daughter. The community grieved together, sharing memories and support. Vigils were held, tributes poured in, and the company paused all production. Grief counseling was offered as employees struggled to process the trauma. The factory, once a symbol of opportunity, was now marked by tragedy. The silence on the production floor was heavy with loss. Healing would be slow, as the town mourned both Amber and their lost sense of safety. Amber's murder forced Cokato to confront workplace violence head-on. Her family chose to speak out, urging greater awareness and vigilance. Local businesses re-examined safety protocols, asking tough questions about prevention. The tragedy highlighted that threats can come from within, not just outside. DeLong had passed all background checks. His actions exposed the limits of traditional security. The community began a conversation about mental health, early warning signs, and the need for open communication. Amber's story became a cautionary tale, prompting change far beyond Cokato. Her loss was a catalyst for a renewed commitment to safety and support in the workplace. Amber Check's story is heartbreaking, a life and future stolen in a place meant for creation. The art studio, once filled with hope and inspiration, now stands as a silent witness to a tragedy that has shaken an entire community. Amber was more than just an artist. She was a daughter, a friend, and a bright spirit whose dreams touched everyone around her. DeLong's actions remain inexplicable, a reminder of the unpredictability of violence. In the aftermath, questions linger. How could something so senseless happen in a place meant for growth and collaboration? The shockwaves of that night continue to ripple through the town, leaving many searching for answers and struggling to make sense of the loss. The legal system will deliver its verdict, but true justice lies in the lessons learned. As the case unfolds in courtrooms and headlines, the community is left to grapple with the deeper meaning of justice, one that extends beyond punishment and into the realm of prevention and healing. Amber's family is determined her death will not be in vain. Through their grief, they have found strength and unity, coming together with friends, neighbors, and strangers to honor her memory and demand change. They advocate for awareness, prevention, and a culture of safety in every workplace. Their voices echo in boardrooms and break rooms, urging employers and employees alike to recognize the importance of vigilance and proactive measures. Her memory inspires a call to action, to protect one another, to speak up, and to never take safety for granted. It's a reminder that every individual has a role to play in creating environments where everyone feels secure and valued. The tragedy in Cokato is a dark chapter, but it carries a powerful message. It urges us to confront uncomfortable truths and to work together to ensure that such heartbreak is never repeated. Let Amber's legacy be a world where everyone can go to work and come home safe. Let her story inspire policies, conversations, and actions that prioritize human life above all else. That is the only fitting tribute to a life cut so tragically short. In remembering Amber, we commit ourselves to building a safer, more compassionate world for all.